Hey, my friends, how are you? Jeff Yalden here, mental health and motivation. Welcome to my podcast. You know, Today is the day that all of the students, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say all, that's generalizing. Today is the day that many of our students all over the country are marching out in protest for Douglas High School, Parkland, Florida, the victims. They're marching out for better gun control, to take guns off the street. And whether that is raising the age, taking assault weapons off the streets, whatever we're doing, not my business. It really doesn't have much of an effect on my life. It doesn't have an effect on your life. I'm not going to get into the politics of it. My passion, I work with teenagers, teen mental health. I work with teachers and staff members, administration, schools all over the world. I work with parents and communities. The only thing that guns really has as an effect on my life is when young men primarily think of using a weapon when they're making that forever decision to want to take their life. I kind of said that more complicated than I needed to say. The point is, at first I wasn't sure. Do I want kids marching out? I was like, I don't know if it's safe. I think kids need to be in school. But you know what? I'm supportive of it. But I'm kind of conflicted, and some parts of the country is really saying, hey, yeah, okay, let's give our kids the right, let's give them the power, let's support them in their thinking and wanting to be change agents in the world. So yeah, I'm very supportive of that. But while some school communities say yes and other school communities say no, you're going to be suspended, there right there is a conflicting message. And I think that concerns me really more than anything. So, as the adults, what are we doing? Remember, if you're a teacher, if you're a parent, if you're a coach, you're a trusted adult. Our job is to teach young people first and let the subject area be second. Our job also is to do everything we can to reduce the stigma of mental illness and to be comfortable getting uncomfortable talking about mental health. And you see, if we don't do our job, then we're doing nothing to make any changes in the world. And so I want to be sensitive. Please understand, not just to Parkland, Florida, but all over the country. Connecticut, going back to Columbine, going back to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I want to be sensitive not to look at one situation any greater or any less greater than any other situation. All of them. We are here today really struggling to want to make a change in the world. And what I am seeing is our young people wanting to step up and take action. Why do I like that? Because I see our young people acting more maturely than our adults. I mean, I'm home today in the office and I'm watching CNN, I'm watching the news, and I'm watching all of these kids going out and protesting. You want to know what I see? I see kids going to the White House sitting in silence for 17 minutes. I see kids walking out to their gyms, walking out to the football fields in silence for 17 minutes in an orchestrated, professional manner, speaking not just from their voice, but speaking from their actions. It's a controlled environment. I think we as educators are giving kids this. Listen, if you want to make a change, then I am going to support you as long as we can do it where we're going to be safe and it's going to be something that everybody can rally behind. I love it. I'm so proud today. I'm So proud today more than any day to say I work with young people. Ha! I'm so proud of how they're acting. So proud of it. So super proud. If we're, see, let me tell you something. In the next 10 years, we're going to have a 31% increase in teen suicides and drug overdoses. And I'm not sure about the percent increase in more school shootings. So we cannot continue to put the lid on the can. We got to take the lid off and we got to all come out and we have to be willing to talk about it. And we as adults need to look at our kids and say, what is it that you want to do? You want to know why? Because they're the ones that are going to be running this country 10, 15 years. And the way you know it, me, you as adults, it's changing. Our kids, you got social media, you got YouTube, you got Google, you got kids that are going to become entrepreneurs and they're going to change the world sitting behind their computer screen. Now, there's also the negative side. I want to talk about the positive side. And so, if I see kids right now acting more maturely and more professional than some of us as adults, I want to think that those same change agents are going to use the tools that they have access to in a professional change agent type manner. And those students are going to significantly be influential on the negative side of where people just use social media because they're acting out, they're reacting, they're not using it in the way that is designed to be used. So I think as a parent, as a teacher, as a coach, I challenge you to ask yourself this question. If your child, a student of yours, one of your athletes was in a crisis situation and they needed a trusted adult to talk to, would you be one of their trusted adults that they would go to? I want you to reflect on that for a second. Would you be that trusted adult that your child would feel, your student athlete, you get it? Would they come to you first? I think we need to change the way we parent. We need to change the way we teach. I think we need to get more towards social and emotional learning. I think we need to change the way we coach. And, some of it I don't like. I think some of it's just gotten way out of hand. Like I remember back in 1994, 95 when I was coaching, the kids you could be kind of tough with. I had this one kid, Jay Levitt. Loved this kid. Loved all my kids. Jay Levitt, all my kids, except for one, all my kids were, during practice or something, they would do something dumb like kids do. They're learning, they're growing. I remember I could walk up, smack them in the head, and be like, you know better. And they'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, coach. They knew I loved them. They knew I loved them. They knew I cared about them, and they knew that I would run through a wall for them. You know what? I knew they'd run through a wall for me too. You see, teaching is about relationships. And no matter whoever you are, as a parent, I'm going to tell you, I would never use that word disappointment again. I would never say to a child, I'm disappointed in you. I used to think that was the best punishment, but back then it was a little bit different. Kids are ultra sensitive. Kids are on 24/7, 365. I'll tell you, the best thing that we can do for our kids is their self-esteem. We need to empower them. Yet we also need we need them to understand that life is not easy. Your laziness will not make you successful. So we need to empower them, but we also need to have that that ability to be able to get them to see their potential, not where they see it, but where we see it. And in empowering them, we also have to push them for them to strive to be their very best every single day. And today in America is a day that I'm inspired and excited watching what our kids are doing. Now, I know that a lot of our kids are just following other kids, and well, if you're going to do it, I'm going to do it too. But you know what? That's still where they learn. They're going out and like, hey, why exactly are we doing this? And then some of their peers are probably going to tell them that's how we learn, it's how we grow. People say, well, don't talk about taxes, don't talk about politics. You know what? Our kids are marching out and they're taking on politics. That's right. I'm excited. And they're doing it in a very professional, organized manner, being supported in the safest place they can be. Most schools, I think, some aren't. But the schools that aren't, I think you're going to have another fight on your hands. This is their First Amendment right where they should. So, what are we doing? Are we saying, no, we shouldn't do this? We should be in math class, Pythagorean theorem. That's the lesson we're going over today. Really? Really? Listen, I'm pro education. I kids got to be in school, Spanish, English, science, math, history, phys ed, home ec. We don't have home ec anymore. I used to call it home ec. I used to love home ec. Typing, keyboarding. How we had typing and keyboarding now. Yeah, I get it. They need to be there. But you know what? Sometimes it's okay to just put the textbook aside and for adults to say, hey, take everything off the table. Let's talk. Let's talk, my friends. My story, your story. You got trusted adults that care about you. I want to leave you with two questions that leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. That's it. And if we're going to be influential in the lives of our kids, or our kids are going to be influential in their peers, their inner circle, their grade, their school, their community, there's two questions that we have to answer every single day. Question number one, kids want to know, can I trust you? They ask that of their teachers, their peers. They ask that of their parents. They ask that of their coaches. Can I trust you? And you might say, well, Jeff, I'm their parent. Of course they. Do you know how many kids I talk to every year? And do you know one of the most common conversations I have with a kid crying out for help is that they've been sexually abused by someone that was supposed to be a trusted adult in their life. And even if you are an involved mom and dad, and I know many of you are, our kids are still feeling alone and they're still feeling that they're a burden. This is just a perception. So I think we need to do a much better job of making them feel that no matter what, they can trust you. And so when they know that they can trust you, the next question, question number two is, do you care about me? And if our kids want to march out and protest and they're acting as responsible and as mature as they are right now, and we support them, we're letting them know that we care about them, that we're teaching them in this moment. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud of our kids today. I'm proud of them every day. I think I'm proud to be. I'm sorry about the lives that we've lost. That's bringing us to this day. But as I want to close with you, I want to reiterate something that I've come to learn is that, ladies and gentlemen, life does not happen to us. Life happens for us because everything that we go through shapes us. Everything that we go through makes us become the people that we are to become. But you have to first not be a victim. You have to be a victor. You have to not be bitter and angry, but you have to want to choose to be better. And that's what I see what's going on in the world today. You see, things happen and it might not be your fault. See, Douglas High School, Parkland, Florida. None of us, this is none of our fault. This is none of our fault. But you know what I'm seeing young people do right now? They're taking responsibility. It's not your fault. What do you mean take responsibility? They're getting it. They're getting it. It might not be your fault, but your responsibility every single day. You brush your teeth, you wash your face, you dance, you pick yourself up, you put one foot in front of the next. And our responsibility, whether you're a parent, you're a teenager, you're a coach, you're a teacher, you're an athlete, you're a grandma, you're a grandpa, you're a student, you're a best friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, mom, dad. Your responsibility every day, me and you, is your behavior, your attitude, and your choices. And to live not with an expectation, but to live with an objective. My friends, be influential.